here today, I'm going to show you kind of the start of a trailer build. This is going to be a build that I'm actually, one of my YouTube subscribers has asked me to come and help him plumb up this trailer. He bought all the stuff, but he was kind of he wasn't 100% sure of the building and the plumbing. He kept telling me he's a dumb PT school teacher. Now, we need those PT school teacher. He's actually getting ready to retire this year. He's up and out of Dayton. He's getting ready to retire this year at the end of this year. Been doing it for 30 years. So this is going to be the thing that he wants to do now that he's getting ready to retire, is to start a pressure washing business more so. Now, he's been doing deck cleaning and sealing for the last 25 years during his seasons off. So he's actually going to keep doing that, but he's wanting to add pressure washing with that. So he has just been, for the last 25 years, of just pulling off the trailer of just a unit. He was pulling it off the trailer and off the unit. So now he's wanting to set up a pressure washing trailer so that way he can do house washing, roof cleaning, and everything, and just make it nice, easy, pull up and do it. So with all that being said, some of this stuff he has bought is going to be on here because that's what he had bought and that's the way it's going to be. He went with the heavier hose here. Again, that's going to be heavier to do it. So I'm not saying this is how it has to be done. I'm just saying this is some of the things that has been come to me, and now I'm going to just plumb it up and make it all work right. So with that, the very first thing I always do when I'm looking at trailer builds is I want to know what people are going to do with them. Are you going to do a lot of commercial work, or are you going to plan on doing a lot of residential work? If you're planning on doing a lot of residential work, then I'm going to tell you to put your reels on that side of the trailer or truck or whatever you're building on. And the reason why I do that is so that way there is less likely chance of that way. I always tell my guys, never park in the driveway. I've had so many instances of bleach falling out of getting a hole into the tank. I've had oil fall out of the driveway. We've tried to get oil up out of a driveway, and the customer was real picky, and it wasn't good enough. So they ended up having to replace that driveway for her. Now, this was a car dealership we was working for, and so they got to foot that bill and not us. So for me not to foot a bill that I don't want to foot, I would much rather just keep parking out on the street. Now, I understand sometimes you can't park out on streets, whether it's real busy or it's too tight, something like that, then obviously we're going to have to pull up in there. If we do a lot of commercial work, then I may put them on the back end of it. Now, this has got a high gate, so if I was doing a lot of commercial, I probably wouldn't want that gate there. I would come off there, and what that's for is so we can go down and get long sidewalks, all that kind of thing. If we're doing a lot of gas stations, we can do it and we can get it running off the back. But if we're planning on doing a lot of residential, and I'll even run some of our commercial truck is all off the side, just because of when we are doing, that truck still does residential too. So this unit is going to have a 4 gallon, 4,000 PSI pressure washer pump that I am going to either, I don't think I'm going to take the skid plate off of it. I'm just going to mount it as is, and I will show in the video when I'm getting to that point of how that is. I'm going to show every bit of this of how to plumb this whole trailer. And when I mean show it, I mean step by step. I'm going to break it down all the way down to an entry person will know how to do this. Not just here it is, bam, and now it's all together. I've been getting asked a lot of questions a lot lately about how to break it down individually, and I've gotten a lot of good things from my mix valve that I did actually showing putting it together. I'm going to show on this trailer build how to set up and how to mount our reels, how to mount a reel that doesn't have the where it is, how to mount this thing, how to mount a pressure washer, how to plumb our garden hose. Everything will be step by step. You'll see me putting bolts down through and nuts on the bottom. I'm going to break it down so far so that way you know you will know how to do it when it's all said and done. I understand that it might take a little bit longer videos, but I also understand this will help you out, and I will cut a lot of the, or I'll speed it up so that way you're not actually watching me tighten a bolt. But this is going to have a 4 gallon a minute pressure washer. It's going to also have a 35-gallon water tank to support the buffer tank on that. It's going to have a 50-gallon pressure washer or a soap tank. It's not here yet. I will have to figure it out when I get it there. It's going to have this. It's a Comet it's a 9-gallon a minute Comet pump, and it'll be pulling out of that 50 gallons of soap tank. And I will do a demonstration of the Comet versus the 12 volt, and that way I can give you a comparison of what is what. And then it's going to have 3 hose reels. I'm going to leave some room back here in the back for the surface cleaning. So this is going to be a basic pressure washer that you can go out there and make $100 grand, $150,000, whatever you can, whatever you think you might be able to handle. Now, can this trailer go out and make you $20,000 because you don't know how to do marketing? Absolutely. And so that is where, you got to learn marketing. You got to learn to run a business. If you don't know how to run a business, running this trailer does you absolutely no good at all. Zero, zilch, none. So you got to know a business. You got to know your cost. You got to know everything there is to know about business. So in this whole video series right here will be all about building this trailer and setting up this trailer. So in my next video, I'm going to go over how to map everything out and where, first thing we need to do once we get this trailer is set everything where we want to put it before we ever drill a hole, before we do any of that stuff. And that will allow us to move it around, shuffle around to get the most optimal room and to keep it all done. Also, if we're having a big tank in a water tank, we are not having a big tank. We definitely want to keep the weight of our, if we have anything that's really heavy, if we have a big hot water tank, or a hot water heater, if we have a big 275-gallon and we're going to drive it down the road, we always want to keep that over our axle. We want to keep it within the space of our axle. If we get too far forward, that's going to put too much tongue weight on the trailer, and that will cause this trailer to do one of these things, and you can lose out of control, flip your trailer, flip your truck, the whole 9 yards. If we move it too far back, it's going to do the same thing. It's not going to give it enough tongue weight, and it's going to cause it to do the same thing. Now, on this little bitty trailer, I'm not worried about really weight. The only thing that's going to be heavy is the 500 gallons of sodium hypochlorite. So I'll probably bump that back and move it back here to the back. But this is going to be the whole series of how to build a pressure washing trailer for you and make lots of money.